Hey, let me get your thoughts on one other thing I just was seeing this morning. Mark Shapiro, the TKO COO, was talking to the JP Morgan Global Technology Media and Communications Conference, and he said
And
that
by the way, can I just wait? What was the name of that place again?
the JP Morgan Global Technology Media and Communications Conference.
Okay, Brian, if that's a place that I ever want to go to, I want you to shoot me in the fucking head.
Well, I may not do it, but I may know someone who could help.
All right.
According to what he said here, and I have something that Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics wrote, he defended slashing house shows by 75%, noting profitability is up on WWE live events, and hinted further cuts to house shows. We've talked about this in the past, and tying into Dominic Mysterio, who is one of my favorite people in the company. I mean, for a heel, I'm not saying like I love that heel, but
Right.
he's entertaining. His matches may not be 5-star classics in the eyes of 5-star classic hunters, but there's always something. It's always entertaining. It's kind of, in a lot of respects, he may be the most classic wrestling guy there sometimes, him and Liv. But he got this way without having to work extensive house shows. And traditionally, working frequently is the way that professional wrestlers hone their craft and figure out how to work and what works and what doesn't work. What do you think hearing that they have already slashed 75%? They are defending it because profitability is up because they're running less of these shows. And they said there's going to be more cuts.
Well, and first, Dom is not a typical case because also, I mean, he is obviously, I would imagine, had plenty of workouts with his dad and just talking sessions with his dad. And I'm sure that because of his dad and because he apparently, obviously, he's been in the system this long without getting any heat on himself. He must be a model employee. Everybody has wanted to help him and work with him. Between the way he looked when he was a babyface, the way he worked when he was a babyface, we thought maybe he had goddamn chosen wrong in his field of endeavor. But this whole Dirty Dom thing has, he's blossomed. But I would imagine still that he's had more time in the ring or more time speaking to and learning from a veteran or veterans than most people have with his experience level, right? So let's take him out of it. Point being, it's almost, even house shows are crucial in the same way that I'm trying to figure out a way to make it relatable to the average person in another. Imagine you're a stand-up comic, but past being in a group of people who are being taught by a stand-up comic how to be funny in a fucking classroom, then you're on television and there's nothing in between. And you got to be funny from scratch on TV and on video forever in front of all these fucking people. What the fuck? House shows are the comedy clubs. But the problem is at the level that the WWE is now, even the house shows that they do, you can't call Madison Square Garden the fucking laugh factory, right? And with NXT, I don't know what their house show schedule is. I assume they still run some type of live event somewhere, don't they? Besides the big takeovers and PLEs or PPL, whatever the fuck they are. They got to be running, Lake City, Florida or something, right? Help me.
I actually don't know. I presume, we don't get a lot of people saying like, hey, I went to an NXT house show in Jacksonville.
Well, I was just thinking that I haven't heard about that. No, I mean, they used to, and then I quit paying attention, but now I'm wondering if they are. Point being, you can teach all day long, but the reason why OVW was successful, and I'm not just picking that individually, the reason why any training program would be successful is if you learn and then you're able to go out and apply what you're doing in front of regular fans, regular people, that are going to give you the fucking feedback, and so that you can adjust and correct, or, find out whether you shit the bed or not. But that shouldn't be on national television, and it shouldn't be in Madison Square Garden. It ought to be at the fucking flea market in front of several hundred people or whatever the case. So I don't know if cutting down the house shows at the WWE level, especially if it means less traveling for the guys, is going to, affect them any more than the fact that, goddamn, the ones coming through NXT better still be out, somewhere in Delray Beach, working at an armory somewhere, so they'll be able to figure this shit out before they go to national television.
It's going to be really interesting to see. Vince McMahon did a lot of damage to the wrestling ecosystem, which eventually affected him when he stole everyone's talent, or just raided everyone's talent, however you want to say it, and killed the system for developing talent in the process. And it took him a long time to recover from that. He had to have his own developmental eventually, but probably should have done that 10 years earlier, if you really think about it, because of the damage he did.
Yeah.
Now, with no house shows, it's another thing that's going to hurt the next generation of wrestlers, especially if they want them to work the WWE style, not the indie style.
Well, if they want to get them before they're crippled, regardless, it's, that's why that I scoff at the state of the industry, because the future is being left to the indie people. And
yeah, not a very promising or very pretty scene that you paint there.